more people that climb Mount Everest every year than the amount of people that ever run across America all combined together, you know? And this is not an easy journey. And, I learn a lot.
Woo! Welcome back to the Speak Your Vision podcast. I am your host, Tariq Williams, and not only I am Vision of Hope, but this is a we thing here, everybody. You know what we do here? We are Vision of Hope, all right? So let's get into it. So you know what we do here? We talk empowerment. This is your space for everything empowerment. And if you got a goal, you got a dream, we're not necessarily chasing our dreams here, but we're attracting our dreams. Because when we say we're chasing them, we're implying that they're running away from us. But speaking of running, I gotta tell y'all about my guest today. So my guest, I saw what he was doing on social media, and I was like, we gotta have him on the podcast. Without further ado, the owner of Kraken Media, but this individual right now is in the middle of his run. Yes, I did say run across America. Everybody give it up for Zoon Nguyen.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for the amazing introduction. And I love your energy when you give the intro. It's like I feel like I'm on like a FM show or like a TV show. You know what I'm talking about? Like the radio. It's just
Well,
like night talk.
there you go. Well, that's what this is. That's what this is. That's what we're doing here. All right. Who would I be? I can't just come in halfway, right? Or 70%.
Yeah, no, it was good.
It's 100.
You send it. It was great. But thank you for having me. And thank you for keeping, along with the projects
Yeah.
and showing us love, showing support.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's definitely been a journey. We got about like, as of today, like 720 miles left to our goal. So I'm super happy.
So
No,
let's start there. You have 720 miles left. So
yeah.
to be clear, this person, Zoom listeners, running across America, and you started in California, correct?
Yes. So
Okay.
this project is a personal project of mine. But also, I want to have a charity component to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, I just got done. I didn't even shower yet. That's how I'm like I try to keep it as real as possible, and it's
Yeah.
it's like it's more genuine, But yeah, we're actually I'm running across America. I have my cousin with me for support.
Yeah.
But like it's
Well,
crazy. It's crazy.
I have to say, Zoom, luckily, and you said you didn't shower yet, so luckily we don't have to smell you through the podcast. Uh, um, but tell me, what's one word that explains why you even decided to do this to begin with?
Uh, it's gonna be a vision.
Ooh,
Yeah, not many people have tried and do this journey before, but it's like I think one of my friend he sent me a text the other day, and he said, there's more people that climb Mount Everest every year than the amount of people that ever run across America all combined together. And this is not an easy journey, and I learn a lot through everything. And it's crazy, man. Like literally, I'm running through like snowstorm, desert, thunderstorm, rainstorm. It's like all the weather. Like the US is really big, so it's like
yeah.
all the weather, and like I'm running through time zone, and it's crazy. And it's
Mm-hmm.
funny because I'm not even like not a runner. I'm just like an everyday person that's has a business, but I
Yeah.
want to do this so I could prove to people that they got more in them than what they believe to. And
Mm-hmm.
not like a athletically gifted, so I just have to have a strong mindset, right? So like once
Yeah.
the physical is like destroyed, you gotta have the mindset to keep going. But you know, we all have like way more built into us than
Yeah.
we think. And I looked up on Google, it's like everybody has 20 miles in them. Like if you point a gun at somebody randomly off the street, they could walk 20 mile that day and be fine. But people are like, what, 20 miles in a day? That's crazy,
Yeah. So
but
what was the vision for this exactly? Like obviously you didn't visualize having to run through snowstorms, thunderstorms, etc. What was the vision? Like what truly is the why here? So you said you had a vision for this, but when you were saying I'm gonna do this, and you mentioned like saying that anybody could do like I'm not a runner, I'm not athletically gifted, but what truly did you want to accomplish by doing this?
I just want to prove to people that like you can go far and you can come from any background, anywhere, and you could literally change your life and take it to the next level. Not at the extreme that I'm doing, but I have to do the extreme just to show people that they're capable more than what they could, believe in themselves. So, and again, like I also believe that like if I do this, I will inspire a lot of people to, take a step forward to, work on their physical health because, like the gateway to greatness is through fitness, and that's when you tap into
Interesting.
your, I would say your natural instinct, and it helps you lead better lives, more positive.
Health definitely has to be a priority. I recently launched my workbook, How to Start Prioritizing You. So the Empower Your Life, the Prioritize You workbook. And ultimately, what that is about is finding ways to prioritize your health, your mental health, all those things in an equation so that you can go out and then you can better serve the world in a sense. Because if you
Yeah,
don't prioritize you first, you're gonna struggle. So, for example, if you're on an airplane and they talk about if in case of emergency, get your mask first before you get someone else's and you help other people, right? Because
mhm,
if you don't take care of you,
yeah,
there's really no other way you can take care of other people. So I like how you mentioned that. But Zoon, you mentioned not a lot of people are doing this, and you had a vision to prove to people that you can do anything. But Zoon, I gotta say, there are multiple ways you could have done this.
yeah.
you
Biking is not a bad idea, but I'm
know,
like so deep into it. I'm like, you know what? Already took down like what, 2,200 miles. So, a little bit more than 600 mile left. It's not too bad, 720. But
and,
yeah, man.
and so you said you haven't showered yet. Where are you right now?
I'm in the RV. So we staged the RV like a week, same spot. We camp out and
Okay.
I sleep. And we have another vehicle. It's a safety vehicle. So I get dropped
Uh,
off every morning to the last spot we left off. And then I get right now it's like anything between 20 and 30 miles a day. So we can get the project done, So
and what state are you in right now?
we're in Indiana.
Indiana. Okay.
The
Wow.
place The place we stopped today was Cucumberland. So Cucumberland, Indiana. It's interesting name.
Yeah, yeah,
I got to see the US like for what it is. Like a lot of people like they're like, oh wow, the US must be so developed. It must be so like city everywhere. But honestly, like there's a few big city and
yeah,
everything else is either like nothing
yeah.
or farmlands. So it's
S-
it's different. It's different.
So,
And
Zune, I have so many questions for you, man,
yeah,
because
fire away, fire away. Like
I,
how do you say it? I'm processing like I rush into this run really fast, so I'm still processing the run. So
there's no way you're still processing the run, Zune. You're thousands of miles in, bro. You're doing the thing. I think processing's the wrong word.
yeah, sometimes I do things faster than I could process it, but I get it done by the time I'm like, oh yeah, it's great. Boom, it's done. And that's what makes me different than like most of my friends are the people I'm with because like it's interesting because a lot of people they talk right they just like oh I have this
Yeah,
grand plan I blah 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 but when the vision hit me I'm just like okay cool I'm gonna do it boom and
you know,
then yeah like my friend called me yesterday he was like whoa I I know you were running across America I saw your first post that you were gonna do it and you're almost done. And I'm like, still doing the same thing. I was like,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, I mean, he's like, yeah. I was like, I just push forward every day. It's hard, but I just push forward just to get it done.
So help me understand, Zune, because I have a lot of questions. So let's leave the run aside for a moment.
Yeah.
Because you're also a business owner, Kraken Media, but are you still working along the process? And if you could explain to all the listeners what Kraken Media actually is.
So I would say August of last year, we I had a IT company, right? We do like websites and stuff. And then
Okay.
the clients started to ask me to take pictures for their websites and stuff. And I started doing it with my iPhone, and it did really good. And then all the way until August last year, we're pretty much like a photo website business. And then boom, we switched to video, and we got to tell some of the most amazing stories so far of people's in their personal journey, how they find themselves. And I work with a lot of fitness coach, mindset coach, and life coach.
Mm-hmm.
And like for me, it's like I get to be a part of like to tell their story, but
Yeah.
inspire, help a lot of people that they teach lead better lives. It just comes from that spark, like that inspiration for them to, like, oh shit, I'm gonna change my life today or something,
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That
but
epiphany, because I think that's something people don't recognize that oh wow, I can change my life, right?
yeah.
Oh, like that epiphany, that moment of empowerment is a really big deal. And so with your company, you're really bringing that to life.
Yes, and then I think we're the most affordable one that can make your content look like a movie. So like it just looks like Transformer or Michael Bay. Like so when we shoot those like crazy Halo video that we do, it's like our own proprietary.
Okay.
Uh I just asked like, do you want to look like James Bond or like, Bruce Wayne or like Superman, Paul Walker. It's like we had like a template and then they just pick whoever they want to look like and I made a lot of people's dream came true. And
Wow.
it's
Wow.
like they told me it's like therapy, but like they get to walk away with something.
Yeah, for sure. Being able to put those things together for your business is really neat in the impact that you're having. But then can you explain? So are you working while you're running?
I do, help out whatever I can, but I have like a team behind the scene to take care of some of the clients' work.
Okay.
But we're almost done, and like I can't wait to be back. Now, how do you say it? Like I put myself in the front line, right? So now I
Hmm.
could really get into the head of my clients and help them tell better stories because I'm putting myself out too as well. Because a lot of videographer and photographer, they don't really do what they preach, right? So
Interesting.
if I'm having a client interviewing or doing something
Right.
and I'm not in that position, I wouldn't know how to guide them if they're having trouble. But if I'm actually in that position, you know, then it's a lot safer and they feel
Mhm.
more comfortable and they actually become more authentic. And
That's it right there, right? That's it right there. It's real. It's
it's,
real.
yeah.
And
And
anybody could tell a story. I feel like it's a little bit different when you really have the lived experience to go along with it.
100%. And we have a couple of clips of our clients hitting like millions of views and
Wow.
they're not like they're not like, big following or so. Like they're building their following, but
Yeah.
they got millions of views, tens of thousands of followers hop on to their page. Um, but it's like it's crazy. It's like, I get to flip a switch and then the people I like, we help them, like change the world. It's like crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy. But I'm doing it on my part too. It's like it's crazy like to think about it like I get to work and help these people change, other people's life, but I get to build my personal brand too as well.
Yeah.
Share my story. So it's kind of like interesting. And at the end of all this is like I get to make the same impact that my client is too. So I'm elevating like my personal brand up.
Like I said, Zoon, and for you listeners, I just saw Zoon on social media and I saw like this guy's running across America. And one of my friends was running along with you in the very beginning, Coach Paul. And I
Yeah.
was like, wait, they're running? Like they're doing this thing? And then I saw you continue going and been following the journey. And it's been really neat for me to listen to and check out because your reasoning for your vision and everything that you're doing, and it's awesome that we're talking about your vision for this because this is the place to do it. This is the Speak Your Vision podcast. But I want to understand. Let's go back to a younger Zoon for a moment. All
Yeah.
right, a younger Zoon. Maybe elementary, middle school or so. Did you always think that your goal was going to be to impact the world in different ways and express to people that you can get through struggles?
So that's a really good question because I came to America when I was 8, and I
From
came from
where?
Vietnam,
Hmm.
and I came to America, and I have a big loving family in Vietnam. But when I came to America, we had like a smaller family on this side, and we struggle a lot. And when
What were
I
those struggles exactly?
we weren't financially set, so there was just like I remember um, we first got to America. My mom was sitting on like the edge of her bed, and we had to go get groceries, and she had like only like $20, and she was crying. And I was like 8 at that time, and that was like very dramatic for me.
Wow, yeah.
Um, and then a lot of times we would go to grocery store and we would pay in coins, right? So like imagine you're like 8 years old, like you're at the grocery store with your mom, but like you guys don't have a lot of cash, so it's like a lot of coins, right?
Hmm.
And holding up the line for people behind you, and it's just like very embarrassing moment. But it's like we struggle. We have to do what we do to get through. I don't know if you remember book orders like at the for
The Scholastic book orders. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, like what is it? Elementary school and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I would be that kid that like would just go up to my teacher with a bag of like quarters and pennies trying to
Wow.
buy this book, right? So everyone has like envelope and stuff, and the teacher is super cool. He just grabs it. He's like, "I got you, bro. Don't worry about it."
Wow.
But
Wow.
yeah. And then I did track and field. It was cool, but like my feet was growing, and like we couldn't afford shoes, so I usually would like my feet would be too big for my shoes, and I get like blisters and stuff.
Wow.
But yeah, it's just like a lot of struggle growing up. So I
Ha have you been reflecting on a lot of those moments since you've been on this run?
um yes and no, more in the beginning, but
Okay.
the last couple weeks I've been just trying to dodge lightning. So yeah, America has some crazy weather, man. But
Mm,
yeah, my story is a story of like a lot of overcoming adversity,
mm.
and but like after this run, this is gonna be an achievement that I think every individual should strive for an achievement that you cannot buy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it has to be a good achievement, like something you would die in your grave, like that was badass. So that
Hmm.
it's the run across America. Um, but like it's so crazy that like one of the most fulfilling things for me this year so far was that I was able to provide for my friends that work for me. You
Mm,
know,
hmm.
so like that's like an achievement. It's you can't like the feeling you can't buy.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
Zune,
that's a really good feeling.
yeah. Zune, I think it's really interesting that you mentioned some of the things that you did in pertaining to being able to accomplish things or get things that you can't necessarily buy. Um, I work with a lot of blind people as well, even though I work with more individuals now. But when I first started, I worked with a lot of blind people, and working with a lot of blind people, a lot of times they'd be like, "I can't accomplish this because I'm blind. I'm less than because I'm blind." And we have a lot of these conversations about your life, your abilities are not measured by what you can or can't see,
Mhm.
and you can
Oh,
accomplish whatever
that
it is you
was
want to accomplish.
yes, yes. Can I you just triggered a quote for me, one of like a mentor of mine that he said it a couple of times. It's like it's like a talent can hit a target that nobody can hit, but a genius can hit a target that nobody can see,
Interesting.
right?
Okay, okay.
So like it's crazy, man. Like literally like Kraken, we crossed six figure in January.
This
We
is the,
beat
the media company.
Yeah, yeah, like only a couple months into like the media side, and then I had like a
Wow.
six figure mastermind. It was like pretty crazy. Most coaches take like like 4 or 5 years to get to a six figure mastermind.
Hold on, Zoon. I have to stop you, Zoon. I have to stop you.
Yeah, yeah,
Being someone, because I'm not just gonna let you just brush past that, all right, Zoon?
yeah. But
You
I'm
just
just going.
said you
Yeah,
just said that you were at a so when you were like 8 years old or so, you remember the moments when your mom was struggling, only had $20. You're in the grocery line and you're paying for groceries with change uh and then now you've created your own business and been able to make multiple six figures?
yeah, and I would say like yeah, like the low like first 100K in a month in January. And
Wow, congratulations.
yeah, it was just like big deals, referrals, and it was like all the good deed I compounded a couple months before.
Mm,
So it's kind of interesting because it's not like you can just like run ads and like get good clients right away. It's like a lot of those deals didn't come from clients. They came from relationship. They came from
mm.
um like me just being a good person to somebody that I didn't expect anything out of it.
That
Just
is that is such a good point, Zune. I think a lot of times in our world, even in this country, in our capitalistic society, we feel like we have to put other people down to be able to grow and develop something special. But what you're saying is that not only is not that's not true, it's the complete opposite. The more you give, the more you really value your friendships and connections, the more that you can get and really create something special in business. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, like if you think about it, like if like you build a good relationship with a bunch of people, like not only they could become your client, but their followers can become your client, if that makes sense.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
And the network effect, like let's say like I don't know, like say everyone has like 100 real followers that are like really loyal to their fan base or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you just times it by like however many, and then that's a multiple of like big multiple, so like
Mhm. That,
and
that's that's really neat, Zune. So you have a media company and you're based in where?
we're based out of SF Bay Area, but we like went nationwide a couple months in, so it's like we fly everywhere to shoot
Okay.
nationwide,
Okay.
and the thing is like I didn't plan none of it. It just fell into my lap, and we like sacrificed a lot of sleep, a lot of stress just to pull through like miracles, and it's wild.
Zune, I'm gonna have to tell you this right now, okay? Okay, boss. You flying places and going to all these different things completely unacceptable, okay? I'm expecting you to run everywhere. That's what I'm expecting.
I,
Um, with
no,
photo, video,
uh,
camera in hand, all that.
uh, if you look at my Instagram post, I probably won't be running much after this.
It's
But
funny. I
yeah,
was
it's
I
it's
was
it's
checking out your
crazy.
story
Like
the other day.
it's that's uh-huh.
Yeah, I was checking out your story the other day, saying how you're not much of a runner, but you're
Yeah.
going to probably, hang up the sneakers and not be running too much after this. But ultimately, though, with this running across America, still running and owning your business, what are some of the biggest things that you're learning around the process that you didn't think you were going to learn?
Um, I would say, you know, when I was building my business and it
Hmm.
was like climbing up really fast, a lot of
Hmm.
people tag on to my business to help me, but more importantly, I feel like a lot of them did took advantage of like I was just being so nice, and
Mm,
sometime I was just being too generous. And then certain times when I needed them, they weren't there for me. So I would say more importantly, like this run kind of reviews who is really there for me.
yeah,
Um, and it's
yeah.
fine, part of life. It's a hard thing, but like people can be nice to you, but I only care about if you could carry out results or not and follow through. That's more important.
I mean, just being real with you, Zune, I've come across some significant loss in my life within the past year, and I recognize the people who have truly showed up for me.
Yeah,
And to be clear, I'm not angry at the people that didn't,
yeah,
but I just recognize it, I just recognize it, and I'm a big believer in, and maybe, and I'm not trying to throw shade when I say this or do this. I'm really not. I'm just being honest. When people show you who they are, you let them.
yeah. That's it. Like you let them.
Mm,
That's at the end of the day, it's like most people are just out there for themselves. But my belief has always been we can do more together. And if they believe they can do more by themselves, they can do their own thing. Like I don't really have like uh really like agenda on anybody. Like,
yeah.
even for my media company for like the months we've been in business, I don't think, yeah, I would say almost a year or so, but like we had to go through like 25 to like, yeah, 20 to 25 video editor and shooter really
Wow.
fast. Yeah.
Uh,
To find like my core, like I say core four people, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
You need
you
you
know,
need those
like
people. You need those people.
yeah, yeah, like like I'll see them in New York and stuff. They're doing the final run for me.
Cool. Cool. Cool.
To put it all into like a pretty good story. So I'm excited.
You
Um,
know,
yeah, go ahead.
when so we talk about collaboration and working together with people and not being only out there for yourself. I think about the movie Drumline a little bit, one band, one sound, right? And I was in marching band in high school after I became blind because it was an opportunity to really gain community. And I loved it. And it was amazing. One of us was really good at playing our instrument, but when you put that entire band on the field, something truly amazing happens. And I want to clarify something because I mentioned my workbook a little bit earlier because it's the Empower Your Life, how to the prioritize you workbook, right? How to prioritize you. But I want to be clear when I say this. You know, you prioritize you get what you need. You figure out your health, you figure out your joys, your passions, your desires. But then when you take that and you think about what it looks like to connect with other people and have compassion for others. And it seems that's exactly what you're doing, Zune, when it comes to your business and the jobs that you've created, as well as you getting meals and getting meals for charity with this run.
Yeah, it's just like I just think we can just do more together, and I think we need to come together more as like, as people, and obviously, there's certain things that won't come together, but I think we just do more together. Like, let's say like you have, you know, three individuals on three different, like department doing whatever. So, but if you guys all come together, it's just like it's a multiple force. You're gonna get way more work done. And even with Paul, when I was running across California with Paul,
Yeah,
I was able to push further, because he was just like right there. Like,
yeah,
most people who run, they have pacers,
yeah.
and it's just like you could just do more together. That's from my point of view.
So why do most people try to do it on their own? Like why what do you think is the issue with why people aren't working together in a way that's effective? Why is that such a problem in our society?
I think, some people like I even have people that work for me before and they leave and they're trying to replicate exactly my company, which is kind of crazy.
Mm,
And you know, it's just I just think we could have like done more together. We could have grow faster together with the exponential multiple in terms
mhm,
of partnership. But some people they want their legacy and their story to be written by them or more like separately.
mm,
So, it's not my like thing to like, oh, you can't do that, but like they want to just get more hands-on for themselves.
What it sounds like to me is even what it looks like to be humbled a little bit and recognize that you're not the smartest person in the room, or you're not the strongest person in the room, or the fastest person in the room. But there's nothing wrong with that in terms of what it looks like to collaborate and connect with others.
Yeah.
Um,
If you
so
have
let
an
me,
army, if you have an army and everyone's like, on the same path and same mission, you guys can like really mess some things up and maybe even take over an industry, like,
yeah.
how Mr. Beast did it. It's like you just have to have your core group of people and you can take on the world together and it'll be much easier than individuals trying to go out it just for themselves.
So when you think about this run across America and you think about your business and the collaborations people have been there for you and people who haven't, when you're finished, and I know that you're getting there, you'll be done by the end of July. What are some of the things that you feel like maybe you wish you would have done differently, or you're happy with your all-in approach?
I'm always been happy with my all-in approach because think of like a rocket taking off, right? You're gonna have to shed some people that you thought you needed, but
Mm.
ultimately it's like that's your destiny to go up there. Like if you're a rocket, you're gonna have to do that, right? Um, but at the end of the day, it's like this has been more. I got more out of this run than I thought already in terms of personal development and just having the time to reflect
Hmm.
and have like a lot of like crazy, like almost death moment. It's crazy. Like people like I would be on like the freeway or the highway and then we only have like a foot a gap between me and like a giant semi truck. So in a couple of those like, tighter weave or whatever,
Hmm.
like I feel like you're running, right? You're running this way and it's like semi truck, 70 miles per hour.
Oh my gosh.
And then imagine you're in a hailstorm and
Yeah.
like this in certain corners of the highway, it's just like, like the rail, so it goes in and out like that. And like you get very little room. But
When you're expressing all of this and the storms and the cars and the dodging lightning, did you ever think about giving up?
this whole time I haven't thought about giving up, like at all. Like most people that try to attempt something like this, they usually give up at the 400-mile mark. That's what Joe Rogan said.
Hmm.
But like I've never really give up on anything that I really want in life before, so this will not be the first thing. So like I've always been able to send it pretty wildly.
Do you feel like you learned part of that mindset from, your mom in terms of saying, I only have $20, but I'm gonna do my best? Do you think some of that mindset comes from that?
I think what it comes from is, just growing up in like a very strenuous environment where like financial was like a big issue.
Yeah,
Like think about it, like if you come from nothing, you're willing to take more risk than someone who comes from something, if that makes sense.
interesting.
And that's being said, like I'll take as many risks as I can. Like, I mean, I grew up poor. I'm not afraid to be poor. So I'll take as
Mhm.
many risks as I can. And at the end of the day, it's like, I don't know, life is just like a string of moments. You just make the moment worth it. You can only control what you can control. And, a lot of it is just like how you react to things.
A
And
hundred percent.
yeah, like, like, I don't know, like, um, tell okay, so it's crazy preparing for this run. I was like telling people like, hey, I'm running across America. A lot of my friends didn't believe it. And a lot of people are close with, they didn't believe it that I could do it.
Mm,
But I got like connection with some really high level entrepreneur or high level people. And when I told them I'm gonna run across America, they believed it. They're
wow.
like, "You got it, bro. I can't wait to see you at the end." But it's like people at my level and below, I tell them they don't believe it. But I have some friends that are way, way up. and I tell them, and they believe it. And I was like, I gotta prove them right, you know. But it's like
That,
it's so crazy, man. Like your close circle will not believe, you know, what you're capable of, but the people who made it way further, it's like you got it.
you know, I have some thoughts on that, Zoon, because we can't necessarily control who's going to believe in you and who's going to not believe in you. We can do our best to surround us with some great people. There's no doubt about it. But then when it comes down to it, the people who believe in you and the people who don't reveal themselves. I think that a lot of times people who don't believe in you, I think part of that comes from, oh, well, they can't do it, so there's no way you can do it.
Exactly. It's just a reflection of themselves, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly,
But
exactly.
it's just like, man, at the end of the day, it's like, you know, originally, I had this idea to run across America a couple of years ago,
Okay.
and I would have been like the first Asian person to do it. But I guess like last year, another Asian American did it, and I'm like the first bald Asian American to do it. Pretty cool. And then I was it 2017, 2018, Hella Goods. He did it.
Okay.
He was like the first African American.
Okay.
So I mean, a lot of people. I mean, a handful of people ran across America before, but a lot of them are like white people or Caucasian. You know, it's it's a thing, you know. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I got a chance to be one of the three color folks, so it'll be cool.
Good for you, Zoon. Good for you. That's really neat that you're able to reach that milestone and what that looks like for you. And the fact is how you're trying to make sure that it can impact everyone around you. And it makes me think about how we started this interview today, which is basically making sure that people recognize and understand. Like, this is not a joke when we say this. You are truly stronger than what you think you are. If you think, oh, yeah, I'm about a 5 or a 6, no, you're a 10. I think that our struggles and the obstacles that we have to go through really test us, and we learn more about ourselves as we continue to go through different obstacles and conflicts. I think that those things really truly help us to grow. Um, so when it comes to the end of this, Zune, and you go back to your business and you ran across America, what's the things that you want to make sure that the world learns about you?
I think the best thing that they could take away from this project and just my belief in general is just like, hey, you know, don't overthink it. Just get out there and put one foot forward. Just movement. Movement will
Hmm.
be like any like overthinking. I used to overthink a lot, so I know where how that is, right? Like I was supposed to run across America like 2018, you know,
Yeah.
but every year I was like, nah, 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 But then, you know, I just really, full send this year just to do it, you know,
Wow. Wow.
and a lot of stress, multiple things didn't go the way as planned. I had to buy like six RV tires, super expensive.
Hmm. How many sneakers have you gone through?
Like seven or eight so far. And it's funny because like I'm not a runner, so I don't know which shoes is good. So I'll just get a pair of shoes and like, oh, this is,
Yeah.
I kind of know which shoes to buy. Like there's like categories in running shoes. I didn't really know that. I was like, oh, there's just running shoes, But it's just like at the end of the day, it's like this is my dream to do something like this, and unlike most people, I get to live it, you know.
Mm.
And yeah, it's just like it's a dream. And then I have other things I want to accomplish. If everything goes well, like by the end of this year, I could cash out and get myself a Lamborghini. That's like my second dream. So,
Mm. Mhm.
um,
I'm so adamant, going back to the quote that I said in the very beginning, that it's not necessarily about chasing your dreams. It's about your dreams are waiting for you to put in the work. I get on that soapbox quite often on the podcast because everybody says, "Oh, I'm chasing my dream, I'm chasing my dreams." No, because you're applying your dream's not running away from you. It's waiting for you to put in the work. And I like that when you say you're going to do something, you do it and you put in the action. And you say like a lot of people won't do that, and that's true because at the first sign of obstacles, at the first sign of conflict, people are ready to turn the other way.
Like if you think about it, right? Like I'm like a normal dude, and like think about it.
Yeah.
And this normal dude is like, "Hey, bro, I'm gonna run across America. Watch me." Boom, boom. And there's like athletes that attempt this stuff and fail. I'm like a
Wow.
normal dude. Maybe
Wow.
my physical ability is not like at an athletic, athlete level, but I know for sure my mindset is super strong because
Yeah.
I've also been in the military before,
Mm.
so it really um like created a really powerful mindset for me because we've been in like some tough time in the military training in like the desert where it's like 120 something degrees and we still come out alive.
Hmm.
you know um
Wow. What did you
and
do? What did you do in the military?
I was Fleet Marine Force combat medic, so it's
Wow.
like, yeah, Fleet Marine Force FMF corpsman. And it was a really rewarding opportunity, and we got to do a lot of interesting stuff. I got to see Japan, and yeah, it was awesome.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
You are
Oh,
Zoon.
I was so like fun like funny sidebar, but
Yeah.
when they sent us to Japan, I was like the morale, like welfare person to like help people cheer up, right? So I
Hmm.
would buses to take people around Japan or like the area locally. It's cool. I became like a tour guy for for the base I was at. So I would like sell tour ticket and they'll sell in like literally like 2 to 3 minutes. I post it on the story, and then
Hmm.
I would just get like okay, boom, 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 boom. Just like, yeah, it's pretty fun. Like I was like I became a tour person for the base.
That's
Even
super
though I do have
cool.
my like regular job, but I'm just like, yeah, let's take on this for the weekend.
Yeah.
Uh, Take people out, help reduce the suicide rate or so. Because the base we're at is just like kind of like cold, and it's like the base of Mount Fuji, and it's people are away from home and away from their wife, kids, or
Yeah.
family, and yeah, it's a thing, So
Zoom, man, I can't help but to be in awe of your journey in terms of where you came from and, getting to America and going through your just the hardships financially that ended up being in the service, but and then, struggling to even buy books. I think that I think that in life we take so much for granted. We don't recognize what we have. When I became blind, I'll truly say, I think one of the biggest things I feel like I learned was the fact that some of the things that we feel like we're quote unquote promised or things that we have, you may not have tomorrow. You may not have in 5 minutes. And so to really be appreciative of all the things that you have and then you learn and you grow and you take action on the things that you want to achieve and then you find ways to help out others. I think that's amazing, Zune. I really think you're doing awesome work. So truly thank you for the lessons and thank you for all the work that you've done.
yeah, no, I appreciate you, man. This run across America was I would say 10 times harder than what I expected. Imagine like having like a hard day and you're like, wow, that's like one of the hardest day of my life. Guess what? Tomorrow you're doing it again.
Wow. Wow. That's funny, but you're laughing, but I'm like, whoa, that's true.
Yeah, like,
That's
oh,
true.
eh,
Wow.
crazy. But
So let's get ready to wrap up and let's end with this, Zune. I like that question that picture you painted.
yeah,
What's one word that you would say to someone when you think about, oh wow, that's the hardest day of my life, and then you got to wake up tomorrow morning and do it again? What's one word that you would tell someone to say, hey, it's going to be all right? Like, what's the one word that's in your mind when you think of those hardships?
a lot of people would say grit, but I would say rare.
Rare. Interesting. Okay. Explain why.
His life will reward you if you're rare. So think about it. Like a diamond, it's like value because it's rare, right?
And pressure makes diamonds.
Yes. And a lot of pressure, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Constant pressure. So it's just be able to be a rare individual where, your accomplishment will speak for itself. And
You don't have to talk about it, right?
talk
You're
about
comfortable
it.
to speak for yourself.
Like
Yeah.
you show up, people already know what's up, and you could just be chill about it, and you might, be less guarded, and people can come and ask you questions that might change their life, rather than be very arrogant about it. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
like,
For sure.
just did
Zoon.
it. That's it.
uh, and so Zoon, you're getting ready to wrap up Indianapolis. Where are you going to be at tomorrow?
We're still in like the borderline to Ohio area, so
Okay. Okay. And where
uh,
are you finishing?
Central Park, New York.
Central Park, New York. And you
Yeah.
started in Los Angeles.
Yeah, Santa Monica, California.
Wow. Okay. And now you're, you're ending in Central Park. That's awesome.
Isn't that
That's
crazy?
awesome.
Like I'm just like, yeah, full send this, and 100 something days into this, and it will be done.
Where can people find you, Zoom? How do people connect with you? And we'll make sure to leave everything in the description.
Okay, so the project is milesformeals.us. So miles, MILES, and then FOR, and then meals, MEALS.US.
Okay.
And then my Instagram is Zoon Nguyen, so it's my first name, ZOON, and then period, NGUYEN. And
Okay.
you can see like the updates on the projects I post on Instagram every day. And we're still doing the fundraising. I didn't think like I thought we'll have more, but a lot of other people I looked at that actually did the run across America too, they get close to their goal, but they don't like really meet the fundraising. But at the end of the day, I was like, oh, kind of disappointed on the fundraising, but we'll keep pushing. At the end of the day, I know I did my part.
Hmm. Absolutely. I mean, ultimately, what you're giving is fantastic, no matter what, and you're helping a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah, and
So,
it's crazy. Like maybe we'll do a part two or something later, but
yeah,
I can't wait because then because you caught me in the moment. You caught me in like the
you're
actual.
you're in the heat of it. You
I'm in
didn't
the
even
heat of it.
shower
Yeah,
yet.
yeah, I'm in the heat of it, right? But I can't
Yeah.
wait till like I finish. Then it's like a full introspection,
Mm,
and
hmm.
it's like I really did it. Like it's crazy.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Zune, thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it. And it's been amazing talking with you and hearing a bit about your story from where you were in the very beginning to where you are now, and just taking time to just accomplish and just be an example to all of us. So, Zune, thank you. And, joking around, you seem like a really neat guy. And I can't wait to continue this friendship more in the future. And it's been great to hear about your vision of all this on the Speak Your Vision podcast. And, thank you so much. You're doing a lot of great work, Zune. Everybody, links down below to donate, support Zune everywhere we can, and check out his media. Some of those, your art, your artwork, things that you're creating are amazing, Zune. So thank you so much for all that you do, even being in the service, everything. Thank you so much, Zune, and being an example that we all can listen to today. So thank you so much.
Thank you, brother, for having me. It's a blessing.
Yeah, appreciate you. I'm going to leave everybody again with my favorite quote that a lot of you have heard me say before, because when it comes to really taking action, you can't just talk about it, you got to be about it. You can have all the potential in the world, but potential is only unachieved greatness. So let's go make it happen. Let's take action today, tomorrow, and let's make it happen every day. Everyone, thank you so much for listening to the Speak Your Vision podcast. Not only I am Vision of Hope, but we are Vision of Hope. Let's get it.